Hey, we're here with Robyn. Thanks so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I remember playing your record in 1996 and thinking, this girl's going to go far and have a great career. I never expected, though, that 15 years later we'd still be talking about your career and the music you're making and being so positive about the music you're making. You released 3 records this year in an economy where releasing records is crazy. What made you decide to release Body Talk Parts 1, 2, and 3 this year?
Well, for me, it's an album that I recorded in parts because I wanted to be able to tour while I was recording. So it's an album, but just released in a different kind of way than I guess you usually do stuff. But if you go back like 20, 30 years, you know, it's been done a lot before. Usually albums back then were like 10 songs long. They weren't as long as they tend to be nowadays.
Right.
So I think it's a quite like it's not a really a new idea. It's just that I guess I'm a lot of people aren't doing it this way right now.
Right. I guess being on your own label, Konnichiwa sort of allowed you to do that, right? Like if you had been signed to a major, they probably would have been skeptical.
It probably would have been more difficult. Yes.
Yeah. How liberating? I know that you've been on your own label for about 5 years now. How liberating is that experience being away from the big bad record label?
Well,
artistically liberating?
I don't see them as big bad people. I see them as you know, people who do their job, and their job is to sell records, which is not really my job. I just make the music, and I try to do it where the record company I started allows me to do it in a different way, where I'm not so I don't have to bring them in so early into the process. I can do it on my own and kind of just deliver the record when I think it's done.
You're from Sweden, and it's a socialist country, similar in many ways to what we have here in Canada. Do you think that it's, you know, the emphasis on arts from a very young age is something that's important and helped you develop your career, and just the programs that the government has for music and stuff like that? Is that an important thing for Swedes?
I think all Swedes think differently about that.
Yeah.
I don't think I can speak for all Swedes.
Okay, how about just for
But for
Robyn?
myself, I grew up, you know, in that kind of a social system that definitely provides opportunities for people that aren't making money on their music or whatever it is they're doing to still be able to do that for a living. I mean, there's something called Kommunala Musikskolan, which is a music school where all kids, you know, can learn how to play an instrument, an instrument after like 3rd grade or something. So things like that, I think, definitely has made a difference for people.
Let's talk about the records and the people you worked with on the records. Max Martin's part of this record, and Diplo and Klaus. How different? I mean, Max has obviously been doing this for a lot longer than Klaus or even Diplo, but how different are the 3 producers, and how much did they bring to the table compared to each other? Or
Well, Klaus Åhlund is the person I work with mostly.
Yeah.
It's kind of like our record together. And he writes and produces most of the songs on the album with me. I did 1 song with Max Martin for the last part of the album, and 1 song with Diplo and Klaus for the second album, or for the first album, first part of the album. They're very different from each other. I think Klaus is the one I work with the most, so I guess I know him the best.
Right. And what was that like to work with Max again? I mean, he was there at the beginning. It
was great. He's a interesting and smart person, and someone I've learned a lot from over the years.
Right. Cool. What are your next plans? Is it going to be a 4th record soon, or a new record? A new record soon?
I hope there's going to be a new record real soon. I'm not in the studio yet, but I'm planning to start working on a new album this year. And my plan is to keep going, you know, releasing shorter albums and have more regular releases.
Do you find that, you know, you've been at this for 15 years, the internet's exploded probably in the last 5, really. Do you think that that's brought you and your fans a lot closer together, and that you're not seen as this artist who's, you know, over in Europe, and that your North American audience sees you more and hears about
For sure. No, for sure. I think the internet has been crucial to the way my album's been received by people outside of Scandinavia. of course, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And props for making 3 great records in that really short time. They're great records, and we enjoy listening to them. So thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.